Listen to his view.
For both sides of a political aisle. Some people on the left are convinced that Elon Musk intentionally threw up a Nazi salute, and for them, it confirms their worst fears about the election of Trump, leading to the rise of fascism and outright neo-Nazism in America. Others on the right are equally convinced that this was simply an innocent, heartfelt gesture from Elon that is being misconstrued and admittedly awkward, but certainly not an intentional sign of Nazism. They view the people on the left as being alarmist and subject to a mainstream media hoax. And there are many people in the middle who just don't know what to think. This is an important moment, not just because of what Elon did, but what it reveals about our own psychological biases, the difficulty of discerning truth in the information age, and how both logic and emotions are important to consider when events like this happen. So I'm making this video with a few intentions in mind. For the left, I'm hoping to bring you some calm, clarity, and perspective on what Elon did and why you might not need to be as afraid as leaders in politics are telling you that you need to be. For people on the right, I want to help you understand why the left is afraid and what you can help them do about it. And for everyone, I want to offer you a mental model and critical thinking tips that can help you cut through a lot of the noise and the confusion to get as close to the truth as you can with a reasonable perspective that considers both sides. So I'm going to take this in 4 steps. First, I'm going to summarize the best argument in support of the idea that Elon intentionally threw up a Nazi salute. Then I'm going to summarize the best argument against that. Third, I'm going to comment on how I think Elon Musk could have handled this better, assuming that he was acting in good faith. And finally, I'm going to provide a mental model and some tips for how to navigate complex situations like this that involved a lot of different psychological perspectives. But first, a disclaimer. There is no such thing as an unbiased information source, and that includes me as well. There are the facts, but when presenting the facts, we all make a bunch of subjective decisions about what facts to include versus not include, the facts that we emphasize versus de-emphasize, and even the order in which we present those facts. All of that forms a context and framing through which we perceive those facts, and that's why we call it news stories. Every human on planet Earth has biases, me included. So rather than pretending to be unbiased, I'm going to make sure that my biases are as explicit as possible so that you can check them and I can check them too. Personally, I like Elon Musk. I don't know him very well personally, but I've consumed a lot of interviews involving him. I've also read his biography, and I've studied the guy pretty closely just because I find him fascinating. I also respect him immensely as a visionary and entrepreneur. I've also personally benefited a lot from his advocacy on X. In the last several months, Elon has discovered my content and has heavily promoted it, which has been really positive for my own public standing. I'm really grateful to him for that, and I told him as much in the one private DM we've ever had. Now, I don't know him personally, but I also think it's reasonable to say that the fact that I've consumed many interviews with him, I'm on X a lot, and I've read his biography, means that I have more comprehensive view of him than the average person who's only hearing about him from media headlines. But it's also reasonable to say that I'm somewhat prone to confirmation bias here. So yes, I like Elon, and I love the truth. And my goal in all of my videos is to help me understand the truth better and help you get closer to the truth as well.